side, when you open, you will find the program which I'm sure you have all gone through. You have got the important instructions sheet behind that, and behind that there is a session registration form for the afternoon. In the afternoon you have a choice between two sessions. Please select one of them and fill it and give it back. Either give it the registration or pick it up from you. It's important because afternoon is very difficult. Okay. Now, some of you are coming from last year, some of you are the next 100 trainers. For those who are not coming the first time, based on this focus CIO program, you could get a fast track into the next 100 jury discussions. You could get a fast track access to jury. So the top performers from here could get a fast track. Those who complete all these sessions and score the minimum required points in all the tests, there's a test agenda, let me explain that. Each session is followed by a test, and those who complete all the tests today and tomorrow would get the Focus CIO certificate with the minimum required marks. There are a couple of other agenda points you need to ensure. We are not asking you to cut your cell phones off. You would get important calls from the office. The only thing is keep the phone silent or vibration and take the call from the phone so that others are not disturbed. Any questions so far? No, right? We will try to keep on schedule as far as possible. So please ensure that the timing of the test is accurate. Okay? With that, let me hand over to Giri, who is the group editor, to take over this web. Giri, over to you.
Hi, good morning everybody. Good morning. Thank you for being here. And I see a lot of familiar faces, people who have joined us last year, so welcome back. People who are new, this is probably a new experience for you. So as KK has already explained, the purpose of organizing the Pocket CIO is a part of our effort to help the community of senior IT managers develop both their technical leadership and managerial skills. And so what we have done is over the today and tomorrow, we have a series of sessions organized both with our partners and with some of our trainers. Some of the trainers, many of you have met them last year, but you can be rest assured that they will be coming back with new programs and new things to stimulate your curiosity and interest. And of course, our technology partners who are here today, we had extensive discussions with them on the kind of topics they need to cover and what are the expectations of the audience. And I'm very sure that they will meet with all the expectations you have of them today. So let me start off, and as KK has already mentioned, just to make sure that you're all awake and listening to whatever we're saying, we have a test at the end of every module. This test is a multiple choice, it's open book, so you can definitely refer to all the notes that are there, whatever notes you take today. But I can't assure you that everything will be from the notes, okay? So we are going to see how much you actually know. And so the test will be all MCQ, so please make sure that you write your identification number on the sheet and put your name. The identification numbers are on top of your folder as well. So in case you forget, you can copy it. Okay? And please use the right sheet because we need to identify which test you, our markers don't know, they only get the answer sheets, right? So please make sure that it's all aligned. And being IT people, I can be very sure that you will have that process in place to do it. So with that, I'd like to introduce our first speaker for today. He's Mr. Nitin Bhandari, Associate Vice President for New Products and Partnerships at Vodafone. And he'll be talking on the topic, building an organization for the future. So Nitin has been with us on a number of events previously, so some people might have already met him. He's a very experienced telecom executive, has worked overseas and as well as in India, and he's been leading a lot of new technology initiatives at Vodafone. So today, he'll be talking about building an organization for the future. So please welcome on stage Mr. Nitin Bhandari.
Hi, good morning everyone. So what I wanted to talk today was, if we look around ourselves, the availability of always on gadgets, be it our mobile phones, be it other gadgets, that's very much changed the way businesses work. work and the business is perceived, or businesses are perceived by their customers, stakeholders, employees, and so on. So today I wanted to discuss a few of those trends that's been transforming the way businesses work and how does it impact our lives. So let's go back to year 2000 and let's see how a typical supply chain worked in those days. So this is an example of a cola company, and this is a true example. Okay, so they will typically be, the company supply chain and the distribution will get divided into three parts there typically, where the warehouse will be the responsibility of the procurement team, then there will be the customer experience, that will be the responsibility of the marketing team, and then the whole operations stuff will typically be the responsibility of the COO team. Okay, so what will happen is bi-weekly or weekly, they will send a runner to see if the stocks are there in the vending machine, and the stocks have run out, and the runner will possibly email or call the inventory warehouse in the evening, and then a truck roll will happen, and the stocks will get refilled. So the whole system was pretty much based upon trust and best effort. Now let's say there was an event, a localized event, which meant that the vending machine got half empty or full empty before the runner arrived for the next audit, and the vending machine will go empty, and this is a loss of revenue and loss of customer experience. Now in this whole ecosystem, IT was responsible for all the inventory checking. That was IT was a part of the business. IT was not really running the whole chain. Now let's move forward to 2013, and that's typically been happening. And this again the true story of the same cola company, how it happens. So they have got these vending machines which come fitted with what we call as end-to-end devices, what we call as sensors, which will detect if it has run out of particular cola bottles or other snacks, and once it detects that it is about to run out of cola, it sends an automated report or a message to the warehouse. Inventory checks is done automatically, and then the best route is given to the guys who are responsible for supplying the cola to the machines and so on. And then the sensor confirms that the vending machine has been restocked. So it's not really no more really based upon trust, it's no more really based upon best effort. Now if we look at the role of IT, the role of IT here is not just managing the IT assets, the role of IT here is very much the business impact. So in this case, now IT is responsible for, if you look at it, space utilization, customer experience, because you are keeping the machines pretty much full, cash flow and revenues. So the CIO is no longer now just responsible for IT, rather it is actually responsible for business, and that's a transformation that's been happening. This is pretty much a thing of past, it's already there. Let's look at three of those trends which we at Vodafone think will shape up the future phase of enterprise. Now the first trend is the future is not really about mobile. That may come as a bit ironical statement coming from me, but yes, the future is not really about mobile. The future is about mobility. There is a difference of three characters there, but it's much larger than that. So if you go back to the days of internet, when the internet boom started, now there were a number of companies which went and opened their websites, but there were only very few companies which were able to channelize the tools and techniques that internet gave for their business benefit. So there were only very few companies which were able to convert internet as a channel into a sustained dialogue with their customers by moving into e-commerce or by moving into new ways of buying and supplying things. Now, same way when the social era started, the social internet started, the social media started, the same story got replayed. Okay, so, while there were a number of companies which had put their presence in the Facebook, but there are only very few companies which have been able to construct, which have been able to devise, define, and constructive dialogue with their customers. So same way, if I look at mobility and mobile, it's the same difference. Mobile is a means of connecting to your employees, stakeholders, is a means of connecting to your customers. Whereas what mobility brings in is it's a So what mobility brings in it is, along with just communicating, you could use it for payments, you could use it to access information on the go and so on. So mobility with the mobile like nuts and bolts, where mobility is the overall solution around it, and that's going to be the third wave. Okay, now not every company will be successful in converting mobile into mobility, but the few ones which will be successful will be known in future as the one who have created new business models, and will be known as the ones who have created new ways of reaching out to their customers and new ways of creating new revenue streams and so on. And even if you look at the statistics, last year tablet sales grew by 49.5%. 2015, 1 in 3 of all companies should be with tablet. And not only that, there are more and more applications which are currently being developed on tablets instead of PC. So things like location-enabled services are coming in, tracking services are coming in, and that's going to change the way you communicate to your customers. That's going to change the way your customer communicates to you. The second paradigm I wanted to talk about was about computers. And if you look at it, computers are dissolving into the environment. The way we knew computers 15 years ago is very different than the computers that exist today. And while this may sound as a bold statement, computers are actually going away. Or, in other words, they are getting assimilated into the environment. So, being connected cars, today a car has possibly a much more computing power than what a PC does. Our smartphones have got much more computing power than what the PCs had about 10 years ago and so on. So, in our lives over the past 15 years, we saw two kinds of internet. One was the Internet of Systems, or the internet that we commonly know of. So that connected a system to another system. So effectively, human being to another human being. Then there was the Internet of People, like of Facebook and LinkedIn, where people could connect to other people. And the third wave of internet that's kind of started about a year ago, and maybe will reach maturity in about next 2 or 3 years, is the Internet of Things. So effectively machines talking to machines. And that's going to create another set of business models, just like Internet and Internet of Systems and Internet of People created those two waves of business models. This third wave will create another set of business models where machines could talk to machines. And I think we all have heard about connected cars. In India, while there are high-end cars which are mostly internet-enabled, or which mostly come with M2M, we also have examples including the Reva, the electric car, that you can control from your mobile phone. You can switch on the ACs, you can get the doors open. While you're not sitting in the car, you could use the reserve power of the electric car if we were slightly traffic and then the power goes off. So, but along with it, if you look at again last year, two of the most talked about innovations globally. One was a Nest. Nest is a thermometer. You can install anywhere. Number of sensors. It captures the temperature, humidity, atmospheric conditions, and so on, and allows you to remotely take certain actions on your home appliances. Okay, so this predictive device is available in US, and the first one over here is IUG glucose meter. So you no longer need to go to the doctor, or you no longer need to have a specific device for measuring your blood glucose readings and so on. So this particular device, it actually fits on any iPhone, and then there is software which is running on the iPhone as an applet. And then you could measure your blood glucose levels and a number of other things on the move. So there are just a few examples. What we foresee is the world is going to be a very, very different place in the next 2 years. There will be many more things that will be connected to the internet than the number of PCs and smartphones. Even in India, we have got more and more of new electric meters which are being fitted in our homes, are all smart meters. So a human being no longer needs to come once a month to take the readings. It's all being done automatically. Many of the meters in Mumbai are already converted to smart meters. Then there are examples in Gujarat where we are working with a number of cooperatives where the milk and the dairy farming, they use these MTF devices to practically manage the entire ecosystem of obtaining milk from the small farms and getting into the dairy, forming the right routes. Because the milk that's delivered by cows is not the same every day, and this is something which helps them optimize the complete supply chain. While various analysts have given varying numbers, and the numbers are between 13 billion to 50 billion devices by 2020. Even if you were to take the conservative figure, by 2020 there will be 30 billion devices that's connected to the internet, and it's going to impact the way businesses look at your APIs, be it point of sales machines, be it the smart appliances at home, okay, be it cars, be it a number of other things. So the third paradigm I wanted to talk about was about data, and we call it big data, and it's also known as by a number of other names. It's effectively the data flows which is pretty much becoming a new currency. The data is becoming the new money here. But the key thing is not about the data. The key thing is about are you able to convert data into actionable intelligence? And secondly, is this intelligence available when you have to make the decision? So how quickly can you react to what a foot soldier that's one of the sales guy in the field, whatever he sees, how quickly can you react to it, how quickly can you enable him to make decisions? So how quickly can you move the data between the field force and the headquarters, get the decision making done, and then reply back to them. And that's where this is going to become key. And a lot of this data is actually going to originate outside your immediate environment, outside your offices. So if I look at this, the digital universe will be about 44 times bigger in 2020 than it was in 2009. This also means that in your respective organizations, you will have at least 44 times more data that's flowing in and out. And more of this data is going to really originate outside your immediate environment. So it's going to originate from social sites versus internet. And you need to kind of, as IT, as somebody who is whose KPI is to ensure that we enable businesses. Okay, we need to ensure that we get all this data together, convert it into actionable intelligence, and send it back to the marketing teams, to sales teams, and so on. So effectively, these three technologies are going to pretty much change the way businesses behave, businesses are perceived, and businesses react. And these are driving business innovation. Now, and the next question is who is best placed to lead the change? Is it somebody in business? Is it somebody in sales? Is it somebody in marketing? So if it is technology that's driving the business, pretty much it is somebody in technology who is best placed to lead the change, and that's very much people in the room here, pretty much all of us, all of you. And this is an opportunity now. Whether there is leverage opportunity or not is all upon us. But this is an opportunity that's available to us where we could really become the change agent, create a business impact, and move on to the next level. I will also share some results. And this was a survey which was done earlier this year by Gartner. It's a global survey, and they had done a similar survey about 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, when they did a similar survey, the fifth point here, which was about improving IT applications for IT asset management, that was on the top priority. So the survey was actually done with CIOs and CEOs, and they were asked what is their priority from IT, or what is their, what do they perceive IT as, what do they want IT to deliver. And about 5 years ago, they said they would want IT to manage applications effectively, reduce the cost, and so on. So this was on the top. So when they were asked the same question earlier this year, the answers which came was they would like IT to help them increase their revenues. So they were no longer looking at IT as somebody who is managing certain assets and optimizing things. As the second topic which came was deliver the efficiency, third was reduce the cost. So if I look at all this, the IT asset management was, so they were about 10, I've captured only 5 here, but IT asset management was the fifth on the top of the list. So which effectively means it was no longer, IT asset management is no longer the priority of a CEO. Maybe because a lot of optimization already happened in the past 5 years and they don't need on the existing economic situation or call it whatever, but the priority of stakeholders, the priority of the board, the priority of the CEO from my the ask is help me increase my revenue, help me create the new business models, help me leverage the technology that we know into something that will that makes money for me. So if I look at if I look at this, these are the new priorities. We know we have a unique opportunity. The next thing is, what will it take us to translate this unique opportunity into something that helps us move up the game, move up the ladder, that helps us move ahead and start in the business. So there were three things that we captured, and we had a number of internal deliberations, and we worked with analysts, and there were three things that we captured, and which was about how do we create the right desirable impact within the organization and outside the organization. Okay. The first one that came in there was if I can help organization move faster. So this move faster and be agile. The operational agility does not equate to operational efficiency. This is about being agile, not only being efficient. So agile is much more than being efficient. Second, how do I help the organization create and sustain happiness among the employees? And the third is how do we improve the customer engagement? And these pretty much actually align together. They intersect. What does operational agility mean? It actually means that if you're agile, you are more competitive with the peers in the industry. You are more competitive with the organizations. So this is again from the result of a survey that we conducted, and 53% of businesses, and this survey was among the CEOs, they believe that the ability to scale and converge IT and telecom is the key to their success. So that's more than 50% believing in it. At the same time, if you could get your workforce to be flexible, that increases the performance by 20%. And many of us know it. I think through the day, between now and evening, I'm sure many of us will go back to our smartphones or tablets, and if not the laptops, we'll go back to our smartphones and tablets, and we'll respond to key emails, we'll help somebody take a decision. So that was the first one. Second one was about happy customers and gets the creative business. So it's not just about keeping the customers happy. What we translate into is repetitive business, and repetitive business means that you are spending less money to get the same business. Because the first time you have to get money, you have to spend more, but if it is repetitive, your spend to get that business is less and less. Now, how do you make customers happy? Now, 70% of the customers, they actually expect a response from you, not the solution, but at least a response in less than 2 hours whenever they report a problem. So the best thing is if they don't have to report a problem. The second best thing is if they report a problem, how fast can we revert to that? How fast can we do root cause analysis? How fast can we acknowledge the problems and possibly present the solution and start working towards building a solution? The second is, more and more businesses believe that it's not just the human way of doing the things, it's the technology innovation that helps improve the customer experience. Third is about giving flexibility to the workforce. Giving flexibility is not just about you can work from home. It's not just about fine you can come half day or half working day to the office and that's half working day you can work from home. It's also about how do you enable your employees to work as effective from home as from office. One of the questions I wanted to ask here was how many of us here carry 2 mobile phones? So if you could raise hand, how many of us carry 2 mobile phones? So what if, now the main reason why I said that's about 30% here. So what if we were, if somebody was to tell me that you don't need to carry 2 mobile phones, just 1 mobile phone, but you can still separate your personal calls, personal data, besides the official data. Because the reason why we carry 2 mobile phones is just not about making calls. It's also about the data that's getting stored, be it pictures, be it clips, be it emails and so on. And tomorrow if you would leave the organization, we would like to retain and take it along with us. So the reason why we carry 2 mobile phones is no longer about the call card, it's about the mobile itself is a large ecosystem, there's a lot of things stored there. Today there are technologies available which can partition your phones into two or more, just like we can logically partition our laptops, where the official data could be managed by the administrator sitting in the office, and the personal data is all yours. And so on. So these things are available today, this is something which does help improve the work-life balance of the person, because even if I'm not getting to mobile phone, just one mobile phone that uses a big about 200 grams in my pocket. What I wanted to talk about was some of the solutions which are available, and rather than just about the solution, I'm going to talk about the real case studies where these are already deployed, and these are helping our customers achieve the desired benefit. So the first one is about helping employees become connected, and this is from manufacturing. This is from an automobile manufacturer. The key thing about a lot of these manufacturing capabilities, a lot of these manufacturing facilities, is the processes happens to be those which they would not want to be copied and taken out. So in a number of these facilities and a number of IT organizations which are bound by contracts with their customers, people are no longer allowed to carry a mobile phone which also carries a camera, because you can always take a photograph and send it elsewhere. So a number of places they ask employees to possess the mobile phone at the desk, at the security desk. But what's the use of carrying a mobile phone if it is not with you during the day? Or you have to go and buy a mobile phone which doesn't have a camera. And as of now, I don't know any brand, any brand or any mobile phone which no longer comes with a camera. Maybe cameras without mobile phones without camera are possibly costlier than the mobile phones with camera today. So there was this company, a large two-wheeler automobile manufacturer in the country, and they wanted to, when they did a survey of their employees, one of the biggest satisfaction that came in was that employees were carrying two mobile phones, one for personal use and one for official use. And for official use, they had made BlackBerry as a mandatory device. The reason why BlackBerry was made a mandatory device was because it can be controlled by a centralized administrator using MES. We kind of provided them mobile device manager solution, which effectively allows you to partition this mobile space into two. Works on almost every OS, be it Android, be it iOS, be it BlackBerry, be it Microsoft, and this allows the administrator to control the official data while allowing the human being, the user, the consumer to control his personal data space. It also comes with features such as locking the device if you've lost it, or if you forward it by a bar. Or if the employee leaves the organization, it can remotely wipe off the official data. So you can effectively control laptop, you can effectively control the mobile devices like you control laptops, except that laptop, your control is only until it is plugged into your LAN. Once it is plugged out of the LAN, the employees, if the employee runs away, pretty much runs away, you cannot remotely wipe off the data in the laptop. But because mobile is always connected on the air and hence connected to your administrator, the employee was to run away tomorrow, you can still wipe out the assets on the device. Okay, so what we figured out with this was there were benefits, but while the system and while the employee experience improved, another benefit here was saving money. Now, when the official phone is made mandatory, and if that happens to BlackBerry, most of the organizations they have to provide BlackBerry to the employees. But if you were to make it flexible, if the employee to choose his or her mobile terminal, you effectively no longer need to spend. So let's say the average life of a mobile is about 3 years, okay, and a BlackBerry or any other smartphone will cost about 20,000 on average. For a 1,000 employee business, you can actually save about 20 million rupees every 3 years, and hence you can pass on some of the benefits to your employee. So even if you were to pass 50% benefit to the employee, they will pretty much be happy that they can go and buy a device of their own liking and still get a reimbursement of 50%. So it's a win-win for employee as well as for the business, while employee is happy that he's getting 50% reimbursement, and and he has got full control of the device, full flexibility. You also don't need to spend the rest 50%, which otherwise you would have spent in buying those devices managed. Second example I wanted to take was related to Internet of Things, and this is also two examples from the country. So if you look at the supply chain, a large issue today is when you're sending the delivery, you do not know what the truck driver is doing, or is he making a scheduled stop at his home, or is he picking up his kid from the school, or is he just sleeping on the way for an hour. So we got out what we call as a location tracker, Vodafone location tracking technology. So what it allows is it allows you to track your vehicle, and not just track, rather you can set business rules such as define a route for this truck, and if the truck goes outside the defined route, it can send you an alarm. Or you can monitor it on a portal. You can also pretty much define a geographical boundary and say, if the distribution area of a particular person happens to be North Delhi, then define it as a geographical boundary, and if that was to go outside the geographical boundary of North Delhi, then there is something going on, and you can always try to trace it. So it not only helps you in securing the content, it also helps you in ensuring whether the truck is, if your customer was to call you and say, well, this thing was to be delivered by 1 p.m. today, it's already 1:30, tell me where it is, and rather than telling, so it's on the way, you can always think that the precise location of this truck is a kilometer away, there's a traffic jam there, and hence it possibly may take 15 more minutes for him to reach you. So that will definitely help your customers to be more happy, or that will definitely help them to know that you are not just bullying, rather it's a genuine issue. So this example was about Internet of Things from machine to machine. So in fact, you do business paradigm to be created, then you can always sell some of these services compared to being to your customer. The third one that I wanted to discuss was making cash collection payments more efficient. And maybe the question is, what is the benefit for me to do with cash collection? Now, if I look at the Vodafone network today, our network of agents, okay, we have a few million agents in the country, larger than any bank. Number of bank branches in the country are about 100,000. Number of ATMs are about 1.25 lakhs, so 125,000 ATMs. But our agency network is in billions, and wherever there are businesses, even if there are 5 shops in a village, one of them will be selling Vodafone prepaid or postpaid card. So we have the reach. So what we are doing, and we kind of this whole initiative started in Africa, in Kenya, where there were not many banks, and carrying cash was a big risk in Kenya. So what we did was we allowed the customers to convert their cash into mobile currency in 2 minutes, which they decide electronically, and at the point where they want to use it, they can withdraw it from an ATM network. Similar concept applicable in India, where a person can convert the hard cash into electronic currency and convert the electronic currency back into cash. But that's for the consumers. As a business, you could effectively use it to do your cash collection, cash segregation in a much better way. So let's say if you're going to be ground, and if you're a microfinance company, or even a distribution company, or any other company which is involved in distributing some kind of a product, and at the end of the week, one of your person goes, takes cash from these small shops, and then returns back in the evening to deposit it in the branch will deposit it in the bank. And by the time the headquarters get to know about it, there is a typical time level for the week. And we do not know what's happening on the week. So one of the solutions that we have developed is on the week count as the cash is being collected, after collecting, let's say, 4 or 5 shops, the fifth shop, the fifth place where the agent goes, he deposits and transfers the money into e-wallet, and from e-wallet you can transfer to your branch. So as long as it gets converted to electronic where from all over India, if you can get the cash aggregated and have full visibility of cash at any point of time, you could utilize it in a more efficient manner. Your finance function could utilize it and can act on it in a much more efficient manner than what you can do today. So you're not just doing away with the risk, you're also improving the cash flow of the organization. One of the other examples of this way you could use it if you happen to be in businesses where you have to pay a lot of petty cash, petty sums of cash, be it to laborers, be it to your factory workers. One of the common mode today is when goes in once, twice a month or once a month. This kind of mailer that happens and cash is distributed among the employees. The reason why cash is distributed is most of the laborers and factory workers don't happen to have bank accounts. Now, if you could convert this into electronic currency again, they can go and withdraw. So one, your cash disbursement is easier. Second, they can go and withdraw it from any of the Vodafone agents, any of the M-Pesa agents. They would really worry about walking into this mailer and then at a particular time to get the cash. So that's where it's making things efficient for the organization to lead collection, lead application, or lead payment. At the same time, it reduces the cash carrying risk for the individual that is more in the chain. The next one I wanted to talk about was where we are developing hybrid solution. Again, a real example from Bangalore, the Bangalore Metro, what they have started to. So one of the problems that Bangalore Metro faced when they initiated their operations was not many people were using Bangalore Metro. Unlike in Delhi where people are happy to use it, in Bangalore that was not the case. People were still happy to use the surface transport board, buses and taxis. So what they started doing was started providing free Wi-Fi. And they said, I will not just provide free Wi-Fi to everybody, I will only provide authenticated computers. So it's effectively if I go to monthly bus, I can use free Wi-Fi at the right spot. So this kind of while it improves the customer experience, they can use the time productively while they are sitting there in the train, and hence they started preferring the metro as a preferred mode of transport. This very much also helped them convert the daily commuters to monthly commuters. And what we did was we then extended the same to the stations, gave them a hybrid solution of 3G and fixed line and DLS. So we provided them the devices, modern Wi-Fi devices. You can place it in the train compartment, convert 3G to Wi-Fi, and you can actually come and work, do office work while they sit in the train. This is an example from the where we leverage the global networking capability of ours of the Vodafone network, and we had in this case we had Cisco become more efficient and cost effective by giving them a single global plan, and then they need only one service provider across the globe for rather than multiple service providers. So a few of the examples where we have definitely had our customers think beyond IT management, think beyond saving cost, and where we help them think about the new business models, about making their customers happy, which actually gets them more revenue, gets them more profitability, and making the supply chain more efficient, which again helps them with the efficiency, which helps them with plugging more cash into the system, making more cash factories, so on. And something which you could definitely leverage on to create an impact within the organization, within the C-suite, make your organization more innovative and respond to the dynamic changing market conditions. Very much, and let any question on that.
Question is related to the last case we just mentioned about Cisco Global WAN. Just want to know what was the scope of this particular project, and when you say you created intelligent global WAN for Cisco, Are you meaning that you have created some CUG kind of setup for them? And how many countries were covered in that?
Sure. So, while something like CUG by definition is more restricted to mobility, what we provided to them here was a WAN on not just on mobility but also on the fixed line, so you could do collaboration, conferencing, those kind of activities. Now, this does not mean that we use our own fiber across the globe. What this means is they had a single interface. They had a single interface to a telco known as Vodafone, and Vodafone was using either its own assets in most of the countries, or was using partners assets in other countries, but we were giving a single interface to Cisco. So if Cisco had trouble, they had to call on one company called Vodafone rather than calling it my service provider, and there's a fingerprinting exercise that goes on with the problem at my end, or it's at some other end. So we provide a single interface which helps them with making things more efficient and gets problems solved for them. And then we also provide them a number of management tools around it, monitoring and management tools to manage the network. Yes.
So what I can understand is you acted as a MSP, a managed service provider for that.
Correct.
So what is the value add I have seen? Vodafone is a very big company, service provider. But like you see, more or less the same things are being done by the competitors also. So what is the value add?
So like I said, so the value add is so if I look at purely from India perspective, the value add is spread globally. Now, if I look at our competition in India, they are one of them is here in India and in Africa and a few of the South Asian countries. There are others, but then if I look at Vodafone, the spread across the country is possibly the highest, because we no longer own the mobile networks. We also acquired Given Wireless some time ago, which is pretty much a global player, has a presence and works almost across the world. We have our presence in North America, Latin America, Europe, Asia. So now what we could provide them was pretty much our own network in most of the places, and very few countries where we don't have our network, they will leverage our partner assets. So this effectively translates into maybe lower cost, but then more than the lower cost, it is about fast reaction when problems happen, because then we don't have to really go and talk to 5 other service providers in other countries. Rather, most of them will have to maybe a Vodafone or Vodafone. Voice as well as data, because given wireless, most of the given wireless network, the ex-given wireless network, and now our Vodafone network is primarily meant for data. So yes, a year back, if this question was asked to me, I would have said the primary mobile company with fixed networks in global countries, but with given wireless, it's a big data set and a international set.
My name is Nitin. My question pertains to the 3 trends that you talked about. So, they are all talking about higher reliance on data and data playing a very central role in how communication happens. So, my question is, this also poses the challenges in terms of the infrastructure, the privacy issues, and also the policy issues. And that becomes an imperative for you as an operator. So, what is it that you see is happening or needs to be done so that these trends actually get realized?
So I think very, very right question. When it comes to policy, so as of today, we can give you access to that data where you have given us permission. So let's say if you were to ask us a question that how many give me names and addresses of all people who entered my store. No, we cannot give you government prohibits us in sharing any data for profit activity. But if you were to ask, give me data about all my loyalty card customers, who entered a shop, or if you have got 10 shops in the city, which shop were they missing the most? And doing the loyalty card registration form, if you got them to take, or whoever take on happy to share my mobile data or my location data, that is something we can provide you. But we would need those permissions in writing from the end user, not just from yourself, but from the end user. In few other countries, they can actually provide this data in anonymous form. In India, we cannot, not yet. Though we have to work with government to change some of these rules. So if I look at, let's say, Europe, and then there is a top-down is a device device, which is very similar to map India device, helps you not just, it gives you not just the route, but also gives you the traffic condition on the route dynamically. So what TomTom does is, now, because every TomTom device in Europe carries a Vodafone SIM card. So the way you figure out the traffic condition there is based on how fast the SIM card was moving, which is equal to how fast was the car or the cab moving. That data gets pumped into a highly efficient server. Anonymizes it, we supply the data to TomTom, which uses it to map each and every speed on a real-time basis. So then what TomTom does is, if I was to ask, I would like to go to from place A to place B, it is not just giving the route, it is also saying, while this being the shortest route, it has got a traffic bottleneck, don't take this route, take an alternate route. So it does that. Now in India, for Delhi, Mumbai, for some of the cities, in these radio cabs, they have got these devices fitted, and you can actually look at, on Google Maps, you can look at the traffic condition. But that is only for those few cab companies where they are registered, from where they have taken permission. So that data is still not reflective of the overall traffic condition. The government was to allow this year, it will help people take better data. So there's similar examples of that.
Wait, we just have a couple more questions.
Hi, good morning. This is Golok here. When Vodafone is providing this mobility kind of solutions, as a CIO perspective, what your experience is when it comes to working or getting a solutions purely based on per cost transactions basis model, or a mix of match model? And what is your experience while providing these kind of mobility solutions to the customer? As a CIO, how does the CIO do it?
So, so if you can repeat the question again, what is the specific perspective?
Most of these mobility solutions, it is a kind of it's purely based on per cost transactions model. It's purely transaction based model, revenue model. Or maybe some capex the customer invest and you build up on top of that the operational and other costs. So as a CIO perspective, when looking for a mobility solution, how do you exactly look for this kind of mobility solution, adapting a mobility solution? Which
Sure.
is the revenue model which suits better?
So I think that will also, so from a CIO perspective, if you are looking at using one of the solutions to improve your revenue, I think the first thing you will have to look at is what is the business model you can create for the transaction between you and your customer. Because revenue comes later. Like in some of the examples I gave, the Bangalore Metro example I gave, we're actually not charging, so Bangalore Metro is not charging their customer anything, they are providing this free. But the business model was, I will use this only to, let's say, my monthly pass customers, which means people are call it forced or call it, but they are volunteer. People are being pushed to move from just taking daily passes, daily tickets to monthly tickets. And the reason why people take daily ticket is because I'm possibly traveling. But everybody, each customer, including us, we do economic calculation. See, if I'm traveling on the dot only for 10 days a month, I'll possibly go and take a daily ticket because they're cheaper. And other 20 days I may still be traveling, but using bus, using the bus or using taxi. But by giving this free thing, they actually move the customers from daily to monthly, which also means they created a new habit among their customers of using metro. Because before this, people had never seen metro in Bangalore. So, and they were not used to traveling in metro. They were more used to traveling on their own two-wheelers. Now, a lot of, so I guess what will happen is they converted a lot of the two-wheeler customers into metro, into using metro, because while driving two-wheelers you cannot work, but if it is free Wi-Fi, you can still work there. They possibly also transform a number of their bus-using customers into using metro, because half an hour you can still work. Now, possibly this solution worked in Bangalore, because Bangalore is a big IT population, and people are happy to work on laptops. Now, the same thing might not have worked in some other city, because there people use laptops to surf internet, not to do office work. Yeah, so if it is about surfing internet, you can wait for half an hour. But if I can use half an hour of my traveling time to do some office work in an IT or ITES companies, I can go back home half an hour. So I think what the CIO and was not about verifying the business case, it was about getting the revenues.
So we have one last question. Nitin here, so you can ask him something during the break as well. So we just take one last question and we move on. And thank you for this. We just need to manage the time. Sorry to give that time already.
I'm hoping to be here until after lunch, so
Yeah, so my name is Nitin. So I want to ask about the M-Pesa project. So what was the success rate of this? Means what was the expected user base and what was the actual outcome of this? Because you talked about the low finance or microfinance companies, the distribution channel. These are the two areas where you focus. The entire distribution channel in India works on the check or on the e-transfers now. Their options are already available. So what was the focus area and what was the success rate of that?
Sure. Now, the check and the e-transfer will work very effectively once this has been once the cash has been collated at your sub-agency level. Then they can use e-transfer. But not everybody can use e-transfer because in India we have only 200 million bank accounts versus about 850 mobile subscriptions. And the reason, and I'm not saying it is 200 people owning the bank account, people owning the bank account is even lesser because many people like us have got multiple bank accounts. Secondly, the number of branches in India is only 100,000. Bank branches 100,000 versus many million outlets that we have. Thirdly, the check still takes a couple of days to realize, and e-transfer, I'm not sure how many bank accounts are enabled with e-transfer, but because there are only 200 million accounts, the e-transfer bank account will be even lesser. Now, where this works best is between the agent, between the collection agent and the sub-agency or the agency. Now, your other question was about where we launched it. So the way we looked at it was the parts of India, parts of the Gujarat, Maharashtra, which are very much enabled, very much nice network, But then we looked at what we call as the migration corridors. Okay, so you've got, if you look at that, you've got the eastern part of India, comprising of West Bengal, Jharkhand, Bihar, eastern UP, where a lot of people move from there to the western corridor that comprises of Delhi, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and there's a lot of, and because these people are here, and they typically work on construction sites or other petty jobs for some time, for a few months, and then they move on to other things. Don't have permanent residence, but they do have a need to send up money home. Now, if we look at the charges being taken with it, because they don't use banking channels, charges are as high as 10%, there's no guarantee that they'll continue that money. So, our first target was to go and, our first thing was to go and target those migratory laborers who could definitely save a lot of transaction money, and this becomes a very much a bona fide or legal channel to movement. Second thing, so this was the first one. This is something which gave us volume, and this whole product is only a few months old, so I think maybe next year or year after next I can talk more about it. The second thing that we did was once we had this volume and once people started using it, and this, by the way, does not require a smartphone. This is not about app. This works on USSD. So any feature phone, even if it is 500 to 1,000 rupee feature phone, the same thing works. And the money here is not held by Vodafone, so people don't need to worry about it. The money is actually held by ICICI Bank. So Vodafone has a venture with ICICI Bank, and it's a pretty much a separate company. It's not Vodafone. M-Pesa is it is a joint thing between Vodafone and ICICI Bank. So we actually use ICICI Bank's banking channel, and hence all the legal banking channels should be considered. Then the second thing we did was we started targeting those distribution companies where the spread is mostly in villages or small towns. Because if it is something like Delhi, I believe it's not the best solution because you will find a bank branch every 100 meters or less. You will find an ATM. And even if it is not, so that's not an issue there. But what about those villages where there are 3 people in the village and they are, and typically with microfinance company, the ticket size is very small. And hence your percentage cost becomes high. You cannot use credit card, you cannot use debit card because most of the less visible, more efficient, because the Vodafone outlets are already wired up and networked through our network. So we don't. The reason why we are cheaper and why banks are not cheaper here is because we already have that network actually. We already have the two top-up systems on all the Vodafone outlets, and we have already invested. While a banking company can do it, they have to invest now, and we are spreading the cost. Our